Ooh, am I glad you guys are still set up? Because I have an addition to the Rebels display. What could it be? I kind of know what it is, but I'm excited to see it out of this shipping box. Oh no! Ezra down! Kanan down too. Oh, goodbye. Star Wars Galaxy Edge bag. Does that give you an idea of what it is? The smuggler's set from Disney. Which I'm good with getting Rey. I'm good with getting Chewbacca. But the real draw right here, let's everybody admit it, is Hondo. Beautiful. How am I supposed to focus on this when I have Star Wars figures in there to open? Madness! Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh Weekly. As always, I'm Robo, and you know I can focus on other toys. Yes, there's Star Wars stuff right in there, but there's other stuff to talk about too. A lot of stuff. There's a couple things that I do notice that I'm missing, but there's just too much to talk about. Hopefully, if things slow down a little bit, they're not going to, I'll catch back up. But at this point, I'm just hitting the high points, the stuff that I mostly focus on. And even there, it's just too much. What was this? No respect. Let's start it off with a little Bandai Figurized Standard Dragon Ball GT Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta action. I did that all in one try, no warm-ups. Now this doesn't seem to have the usual array of promotional images that usually comes with these kits. It's just pretty much, here's the body, here's the head, here's the hands, get it. But that makes me worry that this line's going in the same direction as the Star Wars line, which is just... Is it winding down? I doubt it. With this being Dragon Ball, they can just show something, and with that big a fan base, it's just like, okay, we'll buy it. Maybe the sales are so good, they don't have to put a lot of promotional shots out there. But I'm sure as release time comes, they will show more pictures. And at least with the Dragon Ball line, we're still getting dedicated sculpts. Did I mention the Star Wars line? Gogeta comes with alternate hands, he comes with alternate face plates. Ah! And then Big Bang and Kamehameha effect pieces. $23 comes out in October. Now I mentioned the Star Wars model kit line, and while there's no news on that front, they did release new promotional pictures of which one is it? R2-Q2. This is a nifty different color for the shelf. It's got some white, it's got some black. It'll stand out against the rest of the Star Wars stuff. But the only reason they're putting out new promotional pictures of this now is because this release is this month, maybe in a couple weeks. Maybe tomorrow, I don't know, it's very close to release. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I love droids, I love astromechs, I have no problem buying this. So on that level, I'm okay with Bandai doing just astromechs and protocol droids, but deep down, I feel like this line is just dying. I can't help thinking that way. So much potential though, so many other droids and mechanical type figures to do, armor, whatever. I can't talk about it anymore. $20 releases this month. Now I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I know nothing about My Hero Academia, but going to as many Comic-Cons as I go to, I know the damn thing is popular given the amount of cosplay and merchandise I see for sale. And for a long time I was just like, that's interesting, but what the hell is it? But now that they're making action figures of it, I'm catching up a little bit. I can at least, you know, say, oh, hey, yeah, that's a My Hero Academia character. And that's probably why Good Smile Company is re-releasing Izuku. Prepare for me to butcher a lot of names here. Along with soliciting a Bakugo. And while I know nothing about the property, I really dig the designs here, and that's the way to my heart when it comes to action figures. Do I kind of like the design? I will give it a try. I mean, come on, grenade gauntlets? Hell, I want to kind of cosplay like that. Both are $58 and they will release in December of this year. Remember how a while back I was talking about not knowing anything about My Hero Academia? When was that? Well, you can take that and apply it to McFarlane Toys' My Hero Academia line. They are also doing Deku and Katsuki, along with adding, I'm butchering it, while also adding Tamura and All Might. We saw a couple of these at this year's Toy Fair. It was kind of, here's the line we're doing, and we're also implementing the articulation that we brought in with the Fortnite line into this line. They call it the 22 points of articulation, or 22 moving parts. I don't know how that's counted. All I know is that it's fairly impressive articulation, especially for a McFarlane Toys figure. Completely changed my outlook on the company as a whole, especially when they're embracing this new articulation. They're finally going, oh, people like playing with toys? Well, How are we supposed to know that? All Might is rolling with some single elbows, but he does have butterfly joints up here, so it makes up for it. Izuku includes alternate head, 2 sets of hands, and quirk lightning effects. Tamura has alternate hands, the same goes for All Might, and then Katsuki has 2 sets of hands, one with blast effects. I wasn't reading that. Shut up. All have an MSRP of $21.99 and should release in October, but given McFarlane Toys, it'll probably be just slightly earlier than that. Like I said, McFarlane Toys completely changed my outlook on their figures with the implementation of new articulation. I always kind of admired the sculpts, the paint, that kind of thing, but as I grow older, I like a more kind of tactile experience with my adult playthings. That sounded way better in my head. So the Fortnite line brought the heat. It's not the most natural feeling articulation. It's not the most standard articulation. There's some points like the hips that you kind of have to learn. There's a learning curve to it. It still makes for fun toys, and that's what really matters. At least as far as I'm concerned. I know there's people out there that are like, McFarlane Toys changed it up. I was perfectly good with a couple of swivel joints and standing there looking amazing. Now it's got all these joints that break up the arms and legs and feet and neck and everything else. I don't want to buy toys. I want to buy toys. I'm joking. Calm down. And all of that is the reason that anytime there's a new announcement on this line, I'm excited and I have to buy them. Even though it's 7-inch, it doesn't really fit in with my regular stuff. I'm eventually going to have a McFarlane Fortnite display all put together. That all leads me into some new reveals from McFarlane for their Fortnite line. There's the Prisoner, very interesting design here. Even if you're not into 7-inch scale or Fortnite, you could probably use this in your 6-inch display as kind of a bruiser, or, you know, I built this monster, now he's gonna get you. Overtaker we saw a couple of weeks back in some kind of early solicitation, I don't even remember, but I just love this biker ninja design. Who knew I would like it this much? It kind of reminds me of, I guess I did watch the second G.I. Joe movie the other day. There's a lot of G.I. Joe flavor to Fortnite stuff. Because speaking of that, McFarlane also revealed a Havoc, which every time I show this figure, I get comments of, oh look, it's Firefly. Yes, it pretty much is. And then there's Dire. What? A big kick-ass looking werewolf? I'm gonna need a few, put them in different displays. No release date given, but if we can go by that early solicitation of Overtaker, these are probably coming in August sometime. Hasbro adds to its Overwatch Ultimates line with Wave 2, which consists of Junkrat with alternate hands, rifle, and Riptire. Zarya with alternate hands and weapon. Is that right? Junkrat gets Riptire, and she gets weapon? Okay, it seems that it's actually called a particle cannon. That's way better than the listing. But for me, it's all about Mccree. We just do not have enough cowboy action figures out there, and anytime one pops up, no matter the line, even though I'm not into Overwatch or actually this line, I reviewed a couple, I'm sure they're accurate to the game, it just throws me too much. But for a cowboy action figure, I will go out of my way and get it. Mccree comes with alternate hands and pistol. It's called the Peacekeeper, which, hey, it's not the most original name for a pistol, but I'll take it. For Mccree, I worry about that plastic poncho hanging over the left arm getting in the way of articulation, and apparently I'm not just making it up, because Hasbro only sent one promotional shot of Mccree, while Junkrat and Zarya get triple that. Don't think I didn't catch that, Hasbro. I'm on to you. That Mccree figure also carries over into Wave 2 of the 2-packs. He comes with an alternate version of Tracer. Well, both characters are actually in white. It's a nice day for... To keep them company, there's a 2-pack with Genji and Hanzo, who again get triple the amount of glamour shots as Mccree and Tracer. What you got against cowboys? What's the deal? Singles are about $21 a piece. The 2-packs are about $42. Makes complete sense. And these should release in August. Here's what looks like a prototype for the Figma Call of Duty Ruin figure. Now, I only string all those words together because that's how I read them on the internet. I know McFarlane made a Ruin figure. In fact, I have it somewhere here in the many piles of toys I haven't opened yet, but I'm not privy to the ins and outs of the Call of Duty series. I've just never played it. I'm a third-person kind of guy, not a first-person. But I don't have near enough military figures on my shelf, and this would fit that spot perfectly. Okay, well, Figma runs a little bit smaller than your usual 6-inch lines, but it can go along with my Figma Avengers, and even better, my Figma Deadpool. Here's another shot along with the Shadows Die Twice Sekiro and Death Stranding Sam Porter Bridges. You already know I know nothing about Call of Duty. I sure as hell don't know about those other two properties. But interesting looks all the way around. And there's no information on these at the moment. We'll stay on top of it. Is that a news thing to say? Is that right? I guess NECA has been getting a lot of tweets or questions about the status on their blue and gray Batman. They announced the armored Batman for San Diego this year, but I guess people, well, we were all unsure about the exact status of the classic looking Batman. To reassure collectors, you know, with us being a calm and level-headed lot, NECA sent out this tweet this week. Yes, this one is still happening. Hashtag NYCC in October. Awesome, I cannot wait for this. It'll go beautifully with the Superman that's coming at San Diego Comic-Con. And then, what, they kind of hinted at a Green Lantern at New York too, with a Yellow Lantern alien. But I don't go to New York Comic-Con. Yeah, pay more! A website called Pop Insider has given a release schedule for what could be DC Collectibles' ongoing line for Batman vs. the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. DC Collectibles already has, is it a PX exclusive? I think it will be available at San Diego, but it's also available on Big Bad Toy Store and other sites. But it's Michelangelo in Batman gear. But according to this site, there will also be a Batman and Leo, Robin and Raphael, and both those two packs are supposed to release on September 2nd. Batgirl and Donatello on October 1st, Alfred and Michelangelo on November 1st, and then December 2nd brings Ra's al Ghul and Shredder. Those are supposed to all be available through GameStop, which we'll see. They have the NECA stuff. GameStop's getting a lot of turtles. They say they go up for pre-order next week, so we'll see what happens. I'm interested in seeing this. I'm always down for another version of the turtles. And if I can get matching Batman characters to go with those turtles, that's even better. That's awesome. Hasbro is still loving their promotional images, and I don't mind at all. This week we get new promotional shots of the 2-pack with Iron Man Mark 50 and Iron Spider. Iron Man comes with an array of nano weapons and alternate fist hands, and then Iron Spider comes with an unmasked head and Waldos that look like solid pieces that aren't going to break on you right out of the package. Even though that figure was amazing, stop it. The Ant-Man and Wasp 2-pack of Luis and Ghost actually comes with more stuff than we were expecting. Ghost comes with an unmasked head along with a downed mask to go around her neck. Then there's a shrunk building and an enlarged ant. And is this a new suit body on Luis? He kind of looks like he's about to commentate a wrestling match or something. The Captain America and Peggy Carter 2-pack comes with what we were kind of expecting for the most part. You get a pistol, you get a knife, you get a machine gun. Peggy can also hold the machine gun. Kick ass. The Cap also comes with 2 different shields, his original shield and then an unpainted version of the round shield. Then he includes 2 heads that aren't that different from each other. I know Hasbro implemented the photo reel to kind of compete with imports like SH Figuarts, but you do not need to adopt Bandai's practice of 2 different heads, slightly different looks. But looking closer, I think it's 2 different hair pieces, and one of the hair pieces I think are made to fit the helmet better on the head where it's not sticking up over, you know, combed hair. Or you can take one of these alternate heads and put it on the Captain America with Motorcycle, who only comes with the head with the goggles down and the skull cap on. But then there's the Hela and Scourge pack, which comes with way more than I imagined. Hela gets 3 updated heads. Yes, they are all different. At first I thought, oh, well, we got those 2, but it's cool to have the other one. But then I started looking, and yes, even the head with all the flare coming off of it is different than the one we got in the single pack. That is above and beyond. That's awesome. She comes with alternate hands, including one where she caught the hammer. No more rubber bands to hold the hammer in the hand. And then she comes with the Eternal Flame. Do you understand? And then for Scourge, we get his axe and then Dez and Troy, along with hands with trigger fingers in order to properly hold those. I'm so excited about this pack. Yeah, I already have a Hela, but this is a better Hela. And, of course, everybody needs as many Carl Urban figures as you can put on a shelf. Not stopping there, Hasbro also sent out new promotional shots for some of the fan channel figures that they've already solicited. We get a closer look at Logan and his alternate screaming head. Been waiting for a Cowboy Logan for so long, and this fits the bill. It's only short a cigar and a 6-pack. And you're good to go. Big Time Spider-Man actually comes with the full array of Spider-Man hands, which is awesome. All Spider-Man figures should come with all these. I've already seen Far From Home, so I'm in kind of wall crawler mode. I'm excited about all things Spider-Man. And I want this. I don't know what happened to my first one. I remember getting it. I remember it kind of sucking, and then I don't know what happened to it. I guess I willed it out of existence. And then finally, new promotional shots for Agent Anti-Venom without the heavy shading of the original shot. Yes, this is just the Walgreens Agent Venom with their colors reversed. The white is very bright. Could use some shading. Could use an alternate flash head. The fan channel stuff is essentially easy repaints for the most part. It's stuff that you don't want in the main line, but kind of interesting enough to get on its own. You just pre-order it, forget about it, and then when it comes around, it's like, oh, yeah, I remember. For you carded collectors, they've actually taken the fan channel stuff and made the packaging match their each respective lines. Agent Anti-Venom's in the white Venom packaging, while Logan is in the yellow X-Men packaging. Spider-Man is neon green, but he has the same webbing in the background, so it still matches up pretty good. There's been an update to the Medicom MAFEX Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan. He went up for solicitation 2 weeks ago. We got promotional shots. He was on Ami, he was on Amazon Japan, and then suddenly, he disappeared. What happened to him? I don't know. It was completely gone. There was talk of licensing difficulties, maybe? I can only imagine how many hoops you have to jump through for a sports license. Get it? Hoops? Basketball? I'm probably the first one to ever make that joke. But it seems it was just a delay or a jump of the gun, either Medicom or those overseas sites, because now we have the full solicitation with a few surprises. In the original magazine scans, we saw he had a white pair of shoes and a black pair of shoes. When the pre-order went up, there were no alternate shoes. Now with the new pre-order, we get the white shoes, we get the black shoes, and now we get red shoes. So 3 pairs of shoes, the cloth goods clothing that looks actually pretty good for this scale of figure, and then a basketball. $90? That's where the licensing fees come in, I guess, and this should release next April. But to finish things up, finally, we get a full solicitation for the Medicom MAFEX Avengers Infinity War Thor. Oh man, I can't take this. This just looks too good. It looks to live up to the hype, at least in prototype form. We know MAFEX, usually the unmasked heads are not up to par with what we originally see, but I've heard good things about the Dark Knight trilogy Bruce Wayne, so maybe Medicom puts more emphasis when the face is the main look for the character. Not like an unmasked head for Spider-Man where it's not his main look, it's just an accessory. Not a great precedent to set, but that's what I'm telling myself to justify me pre-ordering the ever-loving hell out of this thing. Proportion and sculpt are great. It's heroic but imposing, just like Thor. 3 alternate heads. You get eye patch, you get robot head, and then you get lightning eyes. And then that's along with a swappable upper torso to give you the uncaped look. In my brain, I think you can just take the cape off. You didn't need to switch the arms, torso, and head. But you know what? Extra mile. I'm not gonna gripe about that. A very impressive Stormbreaker, but my favorite accessories are 10 pieces of lightning. You have 2 for Stormbreaker, you have 2 that wrap around the arm, or I guess you could put them anywhere on the body you wanted to. And then 6 swappable costume discs. That may be my favorite feature ever. That's how he's going on the shelf. Undoubtedly. Even the cloth cape looks fantastic here. $70 scheduled for next February. We can expect it March, April, but I feel like this is gonna be worth the wait. And that's it for today. Remember, all the pictures you see in here, I post tomorrow, Saturday, on the Fwoosh front page. That way you can get a better look, or maybe I was standing in front of something, or I didn't put one in here that may pop up tomorrow. Also, special thanks to Neftali for picking up the Smuggler set from Disney. That's amazing. I can't wait to tear into that thing. Very much appreciated. I was going crazy for Disney to put it up on a website, or order it somehow, or actually go to Disney, which isn't happening anytime soon. So, Star Wars toys. Because now that I talk about that, it's been a little while since we've had any Star Wars news in general. Hopefully San Diego changes that. Hopefully we see some cool stuff. But if you enjoyed this weekly, comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.